Testing, testing, testing. Hello everyone. Welcome back once again. It is once again Taco Tuesday with Tim and Golf Cart Garage. We come here every Taco Tuesday, talk about golf carts for a little bit, try to answer some people's questions, try to save some people some money. We check in on Facebook, that looks good. We go live on YouTube and Facebook at the same time, and then my TV goes out. Then I bring it back to life, and that's how it goes. We've got some interesting things to talk about with the regular questions, and I'm sure we'll get some more questions in the chat. This is Tuesday the 17th. If you're watching us at 12 noon Central Time on Tuesday the 17th, you're watching us live. Give us a thumbs up, give us a subscribe if you haven't done so already. Anybody new here? If you're interested in this content, we talk about everything golf carts here. I work for Golf Cart Garage. Bart Gilman on Facebook. What's going on, Bart Gilman? Good morning from California. All right, let's see what we got going on in the YouTube chat. David Irwin, what's going on? Don't forget to give Tim a like. Thank you, David. Gene Henson, what's up, Gene? Ricky Smith, what's up? Kevin Salyer, good afternoon. 87 here in Indiana. We're about to get hot here in Arkansas. We've been just recently, it seems like we just got warm, just started getting warm. Well, I looked at the schedule, and I'm sure you have too, Zeke. It's about to get hot. About to get hot here in Arkansas. We're 86 today, but I think we're going to hit 90s this week. Greg Elliott, good day to all you wonderful people from Bristol. What's going on, Greg Elliott? 90, Kurt says it's 90 in Bradenton. Yep, well, I think we're going to hit that this week here too, Kurt. I think we are. Larry Hitz, 86 hot days here in Weddington, North Carolina. Mike Irvin, 77 and raining in southwestern Indiana. Kevin says they left Florida at 90 last week and came home to about 70 in Indiana, but have caught up now. Yep. Yeah, we're about to get warm. I'm looking forward to it though. I know it gets to the point where it gets bothersome. It gets so hot here, but I don't like the cold that much. I'd rather it be hot. Joe Foster, 87 in Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Hope everyone's solenoid is clicking. Sound is great to us. Yeah, I think I finally figured out the sound setting that we were getting messed up with. John Shearer, what's going on? Made it for the live today. Is it 250 today? It is, John. It is. This is the 250th episode today. Now, actually, it's 250 since I've been keeping track. So I think there was a few more episodes in the very beginning that it didn't count, that goes against that 250. But since I've been keeping track, yes, this is 250th episode. Alexander Jacoby, probably the good old question. Cart's not running. Solenoid clicks, power to all spots, just don't move. Any pointers? Well, what kind of cart? First, before I give pointers, I gotta know which electrical system we're talking about. Do you have a run tow switch under the seat? That would be my first question. Because what I'm gonna do is I would advise doing a motor isolation test first. It does have a run tow switch under the seat, Alexander says. Okay, so that means that you have, do you know what year it is? William Rizzo, what's going on, William Rizzo? Hey, Tim and good people. 2001. Okay, see, that's a weird year. Okay, so I got more questions because that's a weird year. Your forward and reverse switch, is it on the dash beside the key, or is it behind your right knee when you're sitting in the cart? Okay, so you have the first year of the EasyGo PDS, or almost the first year. So if it's on the dash beside the key, then you have an EasyGo PDS. All right, so that's a shunt wound car. Is this a lifted car? Is it lifted with taller tires, or is it completely on the ground, just normal? Jerry Kelly, what's going on, Jerry Kelly? It's not lifted. Normal, okay. All right, well, this is what you've got so far. If your solenoid is clicking, all right, and then people make fun of me for always talking about the solenoid clicking and everything. But that's all right, because it really does mean something when you're diagnosing a golf cart. If your solenoid's clicking, that means everything is working correctly in your electrical system, from the key to the accelerator pedal to the micro switch to activating the solenoid. Your solenoid is clicking. So at that point, there's only two things behind the solenoid in that electrical system. One of them is the controller, and one of them is the motor. All right, that's why I was going to tell you to do a motor isolation test. Where's my shunt wound motor isolation test? Are you familiar with how to do a motor isolation test on a shunt wound motor? That would be replace the controller already. Okay, so solenoid's clicking and you replace the controller. But there's only one other thing, is the motor. If I'm to assume that the controller that you use to replace it is fine, and was it a good known working controller, or was it one of those real inexpensive ones off of Amazon, or what's the deal with the controller? Now, it also could be the solenoid itself, because let me tell you something about that. Tech checked the motor before and said it's fine. Okay, it could be the solenoid itself. Just because the solenoid's clicking does not automatically mean that the solenoid is good. I have seen that before too. So you might change that solenoid with a known working solenoid and see if that gets you anywhere. If you said check the motor before and said it's fine. Well, if the motor's fine and the controller is fine, if I'm to assume the motor's fine and the controller's fine, the solenoid's clicking, there's only one thing right there in between all of that stuff, and that's the controller. And the solenoid itself. It could be the solenoid itself too. I forgot about that part, yeah. Galactic Technologies, with the warm weather, the golf carts are needing repairs. I have one coming tonight. Yep, they're coming out of the woodwork now, that's for sure. You're welcome, Alexander. I hope I was helpful, or at least got you in the right direction. If anybody else in the room has any ideas for him, he's working on a EasyGo TXT PDS. Solenoid is clicking. He says the motor has been checked and the tech said it was fine. The controller has been replaced. If we are to assume that that's fine, then I would be leaning toward that just because the solenoid's clicking doesn't necessarily mean it's good. Now, anybody else have any ideas on that one? We'd like to hear them. Facebook, over here on Facebook, Bart Gilman. Hey Tim, my grandkids, oh man, see, when I see that word, grandkids and golf carts, I get worried as a mechanic, because that's never good news when somebody starts out with talking about their grandkids and their golf cart problem. My grandkids' 2006 Yamaha 48-volt cart will die until I pull the fuse and reinstall. Fuse is not blown and it comes back to life. It acts like it needs to be reset. Well, on that particular car, there's actually nothing that needs to be reset. And if you're having to reset it, I would be leaning toward a controller issue on that one. Because I tell you what, I would try to make sure that is actually what's happening, that you literally have to pull the fuse. Bart, I would wait and not pull the fuse and see if it starts running again. I mean, I'd want to isolate to make sure that is actually what is happening, that you're actually having to pull the fuse and reinstall it. In other words, don't pull the fuse one time and let it sit there for about 5 minutes and see if it still will work. That's what I'd want to know first. But the only thing that you're doing by pulling that fuse is actually you're cutting power to the controller and then you're putting power back to it. So you could be on the verge of having a controller issue there. Okay, where am I at here? How about the coil that the foot switch passes through? Well, the the coil, I have never, Joe, I've never seen one. You're talking about the ITS. I've never seen an ITS fail in that way where the cart wouldn't move. The failures that I have seen on the ITS is that the solenoid click and the cart would jerk. It would jerk, just like jump out from in front of you, even though you barely touched on the gas pedal. That's usually because of a crack. Now, I'm not saying that that could not happen. I'm just saying that I have not seen one fail in that particular fashion there. Terry Wilson on YouTube. I'm working on a 2013 RX-V, intermittent problem with cart moving when I push the pedal. Key switch seems to be okay. Is issue more likely solenoid or run toe switch? Clicking is intermittent. I would say that it is more likely solenoid, Terry, because on an RX-V, that's one of the most common issues with an RX-V is the solenoid. That's the number one on the list. Number two is motor brake. Number one is solenoid. Toe switch is not going to be, I'm just going on the most common things there. So I would be leaning towards solenoid first, just because it's the most common one. Rob Sider says it's wiring issue. Can you put a voltmeter on large contacts on solenoid and see if it transfers happens? Well, yep, you could do that. You're talking about to test to see if the solenoid is good or not, just because it's clicking like what I was saying. Well, I know he's getting power to the small post, or the solenoid wouldn't be clicking, but I see what you're saying. You could do a continuity test across the two large posts and see if when it clicks, is it actually having continuity. Keep checking every point of the electrical flow until you find the issue. Yep. Brad's Restorations. Hey, Tim. Thanks for responding to my email. I signed up for a time slot on the 25th. Looking forward to it. Brad. Okay, Brad. I remember that. I remembered your email. Thanks for joining us here, Brad. Sometimes you can get your question in here, Brad, if you would like. I probably told you that, or I don't know if I did or not on the email, but yeah, you can. Sometimes you can get your question in here and you get it answered for free, and then you know that's what this is all about. That's why we come here every week, to help some of those people out. What's with the empty garage? Where's the carts? They're in here. They're just over here. I pulled my truck out of the shop, so it does look kind of empty in here. And in fact, it's kind of echoing in here. It's so empty without my truck in here. Rob Sider, whoa, you got my last name right. Good memory. I told y'all that I do have a good memory. You just got to tell me. I don't know why I do, but I do. I have a good memory. Bruce Pionic, hello from Westfield, Wisconsin. Did you get your bag of swag, Bruce? I don't remember if you ever told me that or not. Bruce is one of our, I think he's our last past winner. Did you ever get your package, Bruce? Rob Sider says it's louder in there, yeah. Hey, Aaron, I'm late because I'm on my way home from picking up a Club Car DS turned into a people trailer. I'm excited to fit my mother-in-law off of it. Where am I at? On Facebook. Everything's good. Brad's Restoration. It changed to lithium. Now it won't run at all. Hooked up the 2-wire charging port. No change. Yamaha. Okay. On your 2004 Yamaha, your original charging receptacle, did it only have 2 wires, or did it have a 3rd wire, or even a 4th wire? Brad? Don Wortel. Is it a 36 volt Yamaha? With only 2 wires? Or is it a 48-volt Yamaha, Brad? Good morning from sunny and hot Tucson. What's going on, Don Borchell? Thank you for joining us, sir. Easy mic to you. Howdy, folks. So it's a 48-volt Yamaha, and the original charging receptacle is only 2 wires, is what you're telling me. And that's the one that came on the cart. Bruce said he hasn't gotten it yet. All right, Bruce, I will check on that. Thanks for letting me know. That's why I like to know, because sometimes things can go through the cracks. But I'll check on that, Bruce. Well, just if that's the case, Brad, just changing to lithium, that shouldn't change anything about whether your car runs or not. I mean, especially if you only have a 2-wire receptacle and you did hook the 2 wires back up to the battery. That's all you can do there. If your car's not running now after a lithium change, there's something else went wrong during the install, is what I'm saying. That's why I was asking about that 3rd wire, because a lot of people do a lithium swap and they try to remove their charging receptacle out of the mix, and it's got that 3rd wire that has to go to the positive on the battery post. So that's why I was asking about that. But if yours is just a 2-wire receptacle, then that shouldn't have had anything to do, it shouldn't have caused anything that to make your car not run. Okay, go over here. I mean, that is a little bit of an odd car. It's a UMAX 27E, but if there's no 3rd wire, and you tried hooking up the positive and negative from your old charging receptacle to your new lithium battery, and well, if there's no 3rd wire, then you wouldn't need it at all. That's what I was getting at. Okay, I guess I better start on the regular questions here, because we're going to end up running long if I don't. Hey, Ron, there's a guy at the campground that has an '07 Yamaha that has eaten the positive terminal connectors off of it. Eaten the positive terminal connectors off of it. I just put a 48-volt relay in for his DC to DC converter and it's gone. Any ideas why? You talking about the positive terminal on the battery? The main positive terminal on the battery is melted or something like that? That's always just either a bad cable or a bad loose connection, if that's it. But are you talking about the positive terminals off of the DC to DC converter? Travis Beach, what's going on, Travis Beach? Frank Hoffman, what's going on, Frank? Afternoon from Lexington, South Carolina. Thank you for joining us, Frank. Brad says we'll work through it on the 25th. Well, if you do get it fixed before then, you can cancel the appointment, Brad. You can cancel. There's a way to cancel it. You just click on the right button. But if not, that's fine. I'll talk to you on the 25th. If I can't help you, I can also, when I do talk to you, if I can't come up with any other idea for you, then I can have your money refunded too for the appointment. But stick around, Brad, today, because somebody in the room may come up with something. Sometimes we just got to think on it a little bit. Oh, and by the way, I just made a decision. Today's hat day, just to let you know. So now everybody's got to stay to the end because you're all being entered in a contest for a hat giveaway, which I'm going to do today. Today is officially hat day. I've just made that decision. AA Ron, the battery is fine, but all the wires connected are corroded. Okay. I'm not sure on that one. I'd have to see it, you know, AA Ron. William Rizzo, Travis Beach, Yippee, Joe Foster, Rob Sider. My DS stays outside and wires are always corroded. D. Baker, yep, you are entered, D. Baker. Joe Foster says, thank you, Cat Free. Yep, she is working behind the scenes. She is working behind the scenes, helping me keep track of all of that. All right, I'll get started with the Larry England. What's going on, Larry England? I'm late, but I'm here. Isn't it catless? No, it's well, she can sign in on many accounts, but it's usually cat free 83, I believe. Cat free 83 is usually when she talks in the chat. I don't know what she's on today. I touched the main wire and it just fell off. D-Max, what's up? What's going on? Tim, what's up, D-Max? All my, there she is, Freeman Strategy Group. That's what she's on today. They were just saying thank you for helping me with Hat Day. D-Max, I'm still testing my cart, man. Works great so far. I haven't had any issues. I haven't been able to do a real long range test, but I tell you what, it will wake your car up. When your cart loses 300 pounds, it will wake up a stock golf cart. Make you feel like that it's faster, even though we're going to get into that because the title of this episode is Lithium. Will lithium make my golf cart faster? And it's sort of a complicated answer. It's not really a yes or no question, because you need to understand the question that you're asking there. It actually, not really is the question. It is the answer. Not really makes your cart faster, but it sure does make your cart a lot stronger. You know, there's a difference between being faster and stronger. Got the Speed Code 4 done for free. My battery is also holding up well. Okay, cool. How'd you get it done for free? Rob Sider, add 300 and watch what happens. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. You know, just think about that. Think what would happen to your golf cart if you added 300 pounds, and then think about what would happen if you took 300 pounds away. I mean, you're way a lot less and you're stronger. Yeah, it makes it much quicker, that's for sure, William. Got to go on a diet, not talking about my golf cart. Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You could take 300 pounds off of yourself, or you could take 300 pounds off your batteries. Just think if you did both. Howie Peach, hey Tim, 80 in Ontario County. It is 80 degrees in Ontario? Man, I bet that's nice. Thank you for joining us, Howie. Hey, Ron, it didn't even loosen the nut and it fell off. Just checking the looseness of the cable, it looked like it had been left in acid for a week. Yeah, Greg Elliott, lithium does have more torque for sure, because what the deal is, the reason I said it's kind of a complicated answer to a question when someone asks me, does lithium make my car faster? The answer really is not really. You know what makes your car faster is higher voltage, and lithium resists voltage drop, you know, better than lead acid. So when you take off in your car on a lead acid pack, your voltage will drop and then it will kind of start going back up. Well, on lithium, it doesn't drop as much, and it holds a higher voltage for longer under the same amount of stress. So therefore your voltage is a little bit higher, and therefore your cart may be a little bit faster. It may be a little bit faster, but the main difference is going to be the power that you feel, the strength of your cart, the hill climbing ability, just the overall quickness of your cart. That's the main thing. Now you may be a little bit faster, but Brad's restoration, just to make sure you didn't put it back in run as you should, have it in tow. Yeah, that's a good point, Bruce. That can happen. Oh, Foster, both without Tim. Foster, I'll be coming for your record. Yep. I'm waiting for somebody to come from a record. I saw some guys, I think, that have beat it though. They beat my old 48 volt record that's on YouTube. I saw some videos. I think some guys have beat it because I did it on lead acid. That one I have on YouTube on 48 volts, that's lead acid. So I know I could go beat it now with just by dropping a lithium in there, and I believe that's what they were doing. But hadn't checked on it yet. I'm not really sure. Yes, as far as I know, D-Max, all RXVs have AC motor and controller. That's the whole deal with the RXV. I get lots of people that don't like RXVs, and the people that I know that have them and that haven't had any problems with them, they love them. They love them. And the people that have had problems, they just seem to be reoccurring, and they're getting real frustrated with them. And I've even heard people talk about selling the whole thing and getting out of it. So I've got two extremes of people with RXVs, it seems like. Nadeem Larach, my EasyGo Elite has sensor heat activate. There's no way to replace. How do I bypass into internet? How do I bypass? Heat activate. It has a heat sensor. Tell me a little bit more what you're talking about, Nadeem. This is on Facebook. What type of problems do they have? Main thing, D-Max, they have solenoid problems, like I was saying earlier. Or you may not have been in here. Somebody was asking, had an RXV question, and he was wondering, could it be a solenoid? Well, if you get on the internet, on Google, and you plug in common RXV problems, it will finish the sentence for you. And there's all kinds of websites out there with the most common RXV problems, and every one of them seem to agree on the top two. The top two is solenoid and motor brake. That's the top two common RXV problems. Switches on them. That's true. Brad, at Brad's registration, does your battery have an on-off switch? Because some lithiums do. Aaron, I have heard of those. Silverware T-Con AC motors and controller kits. I have. I have only heard like very few reviews on those though. I mean, what they're claiming on that T-Con setup is some really good numbers. Yeah, I don't have any good solid reviews. I've heard. We used to have a guy that would come in here regularly that I believe had one, and his was working fine. But I'd like to hear some more whenever I'd like to keep track of that, because they always advertise in my dealer magazine that I get, golf cart dealer magazine, that T-Con stuff. It's a real small motor too. It's kind of weird looking. Brad says he's got 53 volts at the battery and there's no on-off switch. Rob says his RXV has been great, but I like the DS better. father-in-law went with the T-Con setup. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'd like to hear that. That's, you know, it's a lot of people aren't even aware that that's available. It's just not, only reason is because it's not as popular as the AC system for, you know, from the Vitas, or even the new AC system from Alltrax, you know. So now there's three. You got Alltrax AC system, you got a Vitas, and you got this T-Con. So yeah, that'd be cool. Mark Kuchera. Mark Kuchera. What's going on, Mark? From Texas. What part of Texas, Mark? I moved here from Texas. I'm in Arkansas. Nadeem says it's a C method internet. Heat sensor is inside engine. Okay, EasyGo Elite. This is a lithium cart, correct, Nadeem? It's a lithium battery cart, right? What's going on with my TV? Mac McCabe. Is this the Mac McCabe that I actually know from back in the day? On Facebook? Big Mac, tall guy? 2019 club car converted to lithium, erratic throttle speed, club car tempo. If it was a gas motor, I would describe it as bogging down. Well, Mark, that's a very common M-core issue. You know who I am, huh, Mac? I'm T-Dog. I'm from New Jersey, yes. From the forum, from the golf cart forum from way back. I'm the guy that used to get into arguments all the time with Garage Built on the internet, on the forum. Did you know that was me? I wrote to you about the desulfators last year. But you're the Mac that used to race, right? Or am I talking to someone else? I mean, I thought it was Mac McKay. Maybe it would be the wrong one. So you wrote to me about desulfators. You might not be the guy I'm thinking of. Mark Kuchera is asking about that, and that is very, Mark, on a 2019 club car, you have an M-core, all right? The M-core is the device that's directly responsible for your smoothness of acceleration, and when they go bad, they can make erratic throttle speed. They can make your speed go up and down. They can make it go back and forth. It could bog down, like what you're describing. And by the way, Mark, I moved here from Edom, Texas, outside of Tyler, because you said Tyler area or Jacksonville. My golf cart shop was in Edom. Yes, I did say M-core issue. That stands for Motor Controller Output Regulator, but most people just call it MCOR, M-core. I used them on Trojans before I switched to Epoch. Okay, I got you, Mac. Yeah, I thought I was talking to somebody else there for a second, Mac. I do remember, I think I remember something about the email about the desulfators, though. Yep, Mark, that's where I moved here from. I was in Edom for 17 years. That's where my golf cart shop was. Okay. Also on your car, Mark, on a 2019 club car, you can, a club car dealer or maybe even a golf cart shop, you can make some phone calls. You have a diagnostic port they can plug in their computer, and they can figure out in 5 minutes if it's your M core that's causing that erratic acceleration. Now, they're going to charge you for that, but it's literally only going to be like 5 minutes worth of the work. They can plug into your car, look at their thing, press the gas pedal, and they can see if your M core is going to 100%. They can see if it drops off. They can see if it's going to be erratic. Edom Opera, that may be something new. I've been in Arkansas for about 6 years now, so the opera may be something new. But I would go to the Edom Arts Festival every year. I'd go to the Ben Wheeler Hog Festival every year. Yeah, I didn't know they had an opera. That is pretty cool. All right, let me get back over here on YouTube for a second. Entertainment Channel got 43. Yeah, I've heard of him. I'm familiar with that channel. Got 43 on a stock club car precedent, I think it was. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Lithium battery, of course, yes. Travis Speaks, just wanted to say that I sure do appreciate you doing this each week. I look forward to it each week, and thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. Well, thank you, Travis. Thank you for saying that. But they actually do pay me to do this. It's hard for me to believe sometimes, but they do. Frank Hoffman, other than better customer service and warranty support, is there a huge difference in Lithium brands? Aren't all the sales made in China? They are, but there are still differences in quality. That's why in my camo cart, I have one of the real inexpensive ones because I'm testing it. We don't even sell it at Golf Cart Garage, the one that I have in that car. And the reason is because we don't know enough about it. So I bought one for myself. So I'm going to do some product testing on it and see if it's worth us to sell. I have heard good reviews on several brands of lithium batteries. I talked to a lot of people. I've had good reviews on Skunk Works. I've had good reviews on Eco. Eco is what we sell at Golf Cart Garage. I've had good reviews on Cloud Energy and Lithium. You know, I've had some good. That's what's in my car is one of those. I think it might be pronounced Lithium. It's Litime. But some of those may be the same. Some of those inexpensive ones may be exactly the same sales. I don't know. But we don't have any long-term data on any of the brands, honestly. No long-term data. We just have short-term data. So I'm trying to put as many miles as I can on this one just to see if I'm going to run into a problem. But so far, so good. And that car is strong. I mean, it really woke it up. Keith, what's going on? Keith from Nashville, checking in. Sorry I'm late. It was dog sitting from a daughter cloudy on 89 in Nashville. Cool. Yep, we're getting warm here too, Keith. I think we're going to hit 90 this week. Alan Suggs, hello from Raleigh, North Carolina, 2006. What's going on, Alan, by the way? 2006 Club Car DS gas dies at speed when it runs. Most of the time, the belts turn when the gas pedal is pressed, but does not engage. 2006, most of the time, the belts turn when the gas pedal is pressed, but does not engage. Well, I can tell you this, Alan, on that particular problem. It sounds like you got two issues in your symptoms there. One issue is that the dying at speed when it runs. Okay, that could be one thing, but the belt's not turning. See, club cars are notorious for having the belt too loose. The starter generator belt is too loose. That belt has to be pretty dang tight in order for it not to do what you're talking about. I've seen a lot of people, it has to be, to me as a mechanic, it has to be tighter than I want it to be in order for it to work good, because that starter generator will spin inside that belt and doesn't turn the motor over like the first try. Sometimes you got to let off the accelerator pedal and hit it again, and it'll catch the motor when it's not on the compression stroke, and then it'll turn over, and sometimes it will crank up like that. So, but the other one, the dies at speed when it runs, I have had some problems with RPM limiters on club car gas where when the RPM limiter gets too hot over and over. See, I've said this before. They put the RPM limiter on a club car down at a real hot spot on the motor. It's an electronic device. I don't know why they would have put it right there. I've always felt like they should have put it against the wall or something, but they put it right down on the bottom of the case, and that gets really, really hot. I mean, it's the hottest part on the motor except for the muffler. So could be that. I mean, you can unplug that. You might want to look up RPM limiter bypass. There's a way to do it. You just unplug the black and white wire, something like that. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but there's a test you can do to eliminate the RPM limiter as being the problem, as far as the dying one. Now the other one just might be, your belt needs to get tightened up. Travis B, well, you deserve it. Thank you, Travis. Hey, Aaron, I'm glad to see your Facebook activity is on the come up. Oh yeah, well, I think they've been sending out some bunch of emails, so it is obviously getting better. Cloud Energy took me 30 miles with 50% left. I drove 15 miles each way home to campground and back every weekend. See, I've heard some good stuff about that. Cloud Energy, yep. That's what I was saying. That was one of the ones I named that I get good reviews off of. Mark Kuchera says, awesome info, thank you. Mike McKay, been running my EPOC 36 volt for over a year. Ran it 5 days straight at a sporting clays tournament here in New Jersey and no issues. It didn't have to charge it until the end of day 5, which was the last day of the tournament. Very happy with it. There you go. That EPOC 36, that's a good review for them too. How old is your EPOC? Or I'm assuming that that's pronounced EPOC. I heard somebody pronounce it like that before. I don't know if it's Epic or EPOC, but how old is the battery? How long have you had that, Mac? Because I want to hear some long-term data. Let me look at one of these questions here. This is from David. How do you correctly bypass the OBC on a 2010 Club Car Precedent? The original charger appears to fail to shut off, causing the batteries to make a boiling sound and release gas. Okay, well, my first question there, I get that a lot. I get similar questions like that a lot. Is how long have you let the charger run? Because the boiling and to releasing gas, that's part of the charging process. I mean, that's normal. That could be normal. Now, older batteries, that may tend to happen more exaggerated. On older batteries, like newer batteries, you may not notice it as much. So I would have questions about your batteries, and then I'd have questions about the voltage on the pack, and then I'd have questions about how long have you let the charger run to make sure that it's not shutting off. All right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is Hat Day, by the way. We are going to give away a hat here in just a few minutes. We're going to give away a prize. We're going to give away a bag of swag, and I will check on Bruce's swag and figure out if it's been sent yet or not. Sir Walter, any reviews on Chin's 48 under $900? See, that Chin's battery is very, very similar looking, and the charger is even similar looking to that Lithium battery that I have, and they're sort of around the same price. So I have a suspicion that those may be almost the same battery. Sales EPOC. Thought about buying it. Aaron says the EPOC, it must be, you must say that's correct. I have a wholesale battery supplier that sells EPOC. I thought about buying EPOC. I have the only reviews that I know about on EPOC I've seen on YouTube, and it's hard to tell sometimes if you're looking at a video of an unbiased review or not. When you're looking at YouTube about a product, because they could have been sponsored. So I never really know, never really can trust all those. But there's several videos on YouTube where they're using EPOC. Okay, Max. David Irwin said he had to jump to Facebook because his house internet went off. Excuse me. Max Epoch is 2 years old, and he purchased another as it comes with the charger and 11-year warranty. Max says it's pronounced epic. Okay. So that's what I wasn't sure of. 2 years old. Well, that's a good start, but you know, we got 5 year and more review on lead acid. That's what I'm wanting to know. I want to know 3 years and older. Aaron says, yeah, they're even the same look on the Cloud Energy. That's what I've noticed. I wouldn't be surprised if all of those are the same. All right, we're going to show some pictures here. I'm going to go ahead and shut those down because we're going to give a hat away. This is hat day. We're going to give a bag of swag away here in a little bit. So I have some pictures. So let's see some pics before we give a hat away. This is from a customer who bought a charger from us, and he was very happy with our service, and I think Iman helped him, so he was very happy with Iman. He wrote a nice review about Iman and to getting him going, and he so we ended up sending him some. We sent him a bag of swag. We sent him a couple of hats because it turns out he was a hat collector. He had over 500 hats in his collection, and so he sent us pictures of his car, and that's what these are right here. His car has a body kit on it. Ready for this? Bam. Oh, wrong one. I guess I'm not ready for it. You ready for this? Bam. This is Roy's golf cart. It's got a Chrysler New Yorker body kit on it. And when he got his bag of swag with his 2 new hats that we gave him for his collection, he sent us this picture. But that's a Chrysler New Yorker body kit, and if I'm not mistaken, it looks like it might be on a club car because I kind of recognize that steering wheel as being the steering wheel from a Club Car DS. I'm not sure, but that's what it looks like to me. I think I got another picture here. Yeah, there's another picture. Kind of doesn't really show any more of the car though. All right, nice. But there's the 2 hats he got. That let's see, Bruce Hutchinson. I bought a second golf cart, 2010 RXV with new lead acid batteries. Store put in Navitas controller. I don't like the feel compared to a new gas Yamaha. It's analog brake gain, the setting to adjust set at 1.3. You talking about the regenerative braking is set too high? Is that what you're saying? Well, in that Navitas, you know, that's the whole point of putting the Navitas in, or changing the stock controller out to an aftermarket controller like a Navitas or an Alltrax. It's because you now have control over the programming. You can take your regenerative braking out. Aaron says, that's slick. I've seen an Eldorado kit similar to that here in Indiana. Yeah, that's Chrysler New Yorker. So that's cool. All right. Here is the hats that we have to choose from. These are the golf cart garage hats. Links in the description. would take you right to them if you wanted to purchase one, but we give them away here occasionally. I already showed there's the t-shirts. We got eco t-shirts, have an eco battery hat. That's one of the eco battery hats that we have to choose from. Here is the other one, with green stitching. That one looks pretty cool. And what is this one? Okay, that's just the first hat and the front of the shirt. All right, cool. Sir Walter, 56 Corvette body would be fun. Yep. Where can I find kits like that? Nice merch from Frank. Yep. Yeah, we got a little bit more now. You know, we used to only have the golf cart garage hats, but now you have a little bit more to choose from. I'm waiting on Freeman Strategy Group to go ahead and announce the winner. Here is my email. Whenever we get, well, I'll go ahead and do the social media links. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook, like I said earlier, if you haven't already, but you can also follow us on other platforms. But we go live on YouTube and Facebook. That's the only two platforms we go live on every Tuesday. We try to see if we can help as many people as we can. All right, we do. Did y'all hear that? Winner has been announced. Let me check, make sure everything is cool. Yep, Facebook is still running. All right, today's winner of the bag of swag is Travis Beach. Travis Beach is today's winner. I will put my email up there. You're still in the room, Travis. That's why you got to stay to the end. There's my email up at the top, Travis. That is 00timfreeman@gmail.com. Send me if you want me to call you, I can. I'll call you and talk to you when I get off here if you have time, and then we can discuss your bag of swag and what you would like. Congratulations. Got people on Facebook saying congratulations to Travis. My wife doing her job behind the scenes. Thank you. Congrats, Travis. All right. Let's see, we've shown the social media links, we've shown the hat graphic, we've shown the let's see. Here's a contact us. If you need to contact Golf Cart Garage for any reason, you can. This is the email address basically to the main office, is support@golfcartgarage.com. There's the phone number. But if you would like to send some pictures or anything straight to me, this is my email right here up at the top of the screen. Send me some pictures to that address, and I might feature your cart. Might feature your cart on the show. It is a random deal, Frank. If it was rigged, I wouldn't need my wife to do it for me. I can just pick it, but she's behind the scenes putting all the names in a random number generator. Okay. All right, there's a contact. Now, don't I have a coupon? Where's my coupon? Let's see if this is still active. Get 5% off any parts you order at golfcartgarage.com if you use the coupon code GHOD5. This code expires on July 31st, so yeah, this is still active. 2025, 5% off any parts you order. And remember, go check out, if you're thinking of lithium, check us out on the Eco Lithiums. That's what we sell here at Golf Cart Garage. We sell the Eco Lithiums. That's one of the brands that I do get good feedback on, and I'm not just saying that because that's the ones we sell. Because I'm testing some out that we don't sell. So I'm trying to be as unbiased as I possibly can because there's no long-term data on any of these, as far as I'm concerned. That's what I'm waiting on, long-term data. All right, guys, that looks like it's going to be about it for today. I'll check my email here in a little bit, Travis. Give me about 15 minutes or so to log out and get off the air and everything, and then I'll call you, or I'll just check the email and see what you want me to do. But I will be glad to call you and talk to you if you would like. I think Facebook made it through. Yep. All right, guys. Good deal. Thank everybody for showing up this week and every week. I will see everybody on the next Taco Tuesday, which will be Tuesday the 24th, I think, something like that. I put my number in the chat. Oh, I didn't see that, Travis. Did you put your phone number in the chat? I don't see your number. Did you send me an email, Travis? Hey, Aaron said just get it and you'll love it. Yeah. It will wake your car up. A new Lithium. Okay, let me back up in the chat and see if I can find it. I backed up all the way to where I announced the winner, Travis, and I'm not seeing it. If my wife is watching, do you see it? Yeah, that might be true, Travis. It may not let you put a phone number in because it's not really a good idea anyway. So that's why it'd be best to send me an email. Just remember that's 00 Tim Freeman up there at gmail.com. Okay, Travis, I got it. Yeah, that must be it. It won't let you do it unless you split it up like that. All right. Well, I hope you don't mind your phone number is out there on the internet now. So anyway, I'll call you in a little bit, man. Okay. All right, guys, I will see everybody next Tuesday. Congratulations again to Travis Beach. I will see everybody next week. Garage is now closed.